Hey ho, my name is Joe. Welcome back to my channel. I've got festive. I am ready for December. Okay, that was weird. I know. These earrings are really distracting. I'm turning them off. Hello there. So if you are new here, my name is Joanna. I refer to myself here as Joe. I've got my ugly Christmas sweater on, and I am fight and read like a girl. Don't mind my hair. It's still drying, but I wanted to get this video ready and uploaded because the sunlight is freaking perfect right now. It's shining through my window, and the lighting was just too perfect to pass up. So if you are interested in some of the books that I've read since back in October, keep on watching. Alright, so these books are in no particular order, but I do want to say this, that October was a really good reading month for me, but November, not so much. I did do the Gilmore Girl readathon in November, but I never uploaded it because I only read 2 books that week, and I got through halfway through the week, and then it turned out to be a really bad week. A lot of things went down during that week, and at work and in my personal life, a lot of things went down, and it was just not how I expected the week to go. And with that being said, Gilmore Girl-a-thon was actually a bust, but I am more than willing to try it next year, and I'm really excited for it next year. But let's go ahead and go down through these books. So the first one that I read, I know this one was in October, was Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Personally, I did not enjoy this book. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and it was just not something that I honestly would recommend to anybody. I could have gone my whole entire life without reading it, and I feel bad for saying that because this is a classic. And anyway, if you are not familiar with Lord of the Flies, you follow a group of boys who, I can't remember how it goes. So you can follow a group of boys. It was the start of the Second World War. They get stranded on this island, and they create their whole entire community, and they literally become kind of like the lords of the land, I guess the way best way you could put it. And I could have gone my whole entire life without reading it. It was just not something that I was really intrigued in. I just read it to get through it because I told myself I would read it. But otherwise than that, was not a fan. So the next one that I read, I actually read twice, and that is Poems for the End of the World by Kate Winsor. I know I've talked about this a couple of times. If you are not familiar with Kate Winsor, I will leave all of her information down below. I actually won a ebook on a Goodreads giveaway, and I was so excited. I immediately downloaded it on my Kindle and read it, and I knew I had to get myself a physical copy of it, which I read the ebook and then I read the physical copy, which Goodreads didn't process that I read it twice, so I have to fix that. But anyway, I ended up giving this 5 out of 5 stars, and it just feels like the poems that are in here, they just get me, they got me, it's filled with poems about breakup and about, I'm trying to remember what it was about. So it's filled with poems about eating disorders, depression, anxiety, terminal illness, chronic illness, sexual assault, gun violence, trauma, abuse, and more. So it just, there was a lot of poems in here that I related to, and some of them made me cry. I had to sit for a minute and just sob. Some of them made me laugh. Some of them gave me like a heartfelt feeling, and I would highly recommend this to anybody who is kind of going through a hard time, and I honestly cannot wait to reread this again in the future. So yeah, it was definitely a 5 out of 5 star in my book, and honestly, this is up there for me for one of the best books I've read for 2020, which I will have a video coming for that, even though I've not read very many books, but I do have a video coming for that, so you want to stay tuned on my channel for that. Next book I have is Cut by Patricia McCormick. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed this, but if you haven't seen Girl Interrupted, you won't understand this reference, but I got a lot of Girl Interrupted vibes from it, and I know there's a book out there too by Susanna Kaysen. There's also the movie adaptation. I've only seen the movie. I've never actually read the book. But either way, I kind of felt like I was in the mental institution with her, and I felt like Susanna Kaysen was there, but kind of like a side character. But either way, that's the vibes I got from this, and I really did enjoy this. So if you're not familiar with this, you follow Callie, and she is a cutter. So trigger warnings for that kind of thing. But she is a cutter, and eventually she ends up opening up about why she does it, and I don't want to give away the spoiler or the about everything, but it definitely feels like I didn't get, maybe I missed something in it, but I wanted more about like the mental part of it. I feel like there was a lot of like mental health part of it missing, so I wanted more into that, but I ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars just because I felt like it needed more. It needed more of something else. Either way, it was a very good book, and I would recommend it to anybody who just wants to read it, I guess. I mean, this is my own personal opinion on it, but it wasn't really for me, I don't think. But maybe I just read it at the wrong time in my life. Maybe I read it at the wrong particular moment in my life. Maybe I'll end up going back and rereading it, but I really actually did enjoy it, but it wasn't enough to blow me away. The next book I have is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Williams Stevenson. If you are not familiar with the story, you follow Dr. Jekyll, who creates Mr. Hyde, and then one day Dr. Jekyll goes missing, and in his place we have Mr. Hyde. So I read this during October, and it was a great read for just October in general, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. But either way, I would highly recommend this. This is by the Great Illustration Classic, so I would actually recommend this to a middle grade person, or, you know, parents. If you are watching my video, this would be great for your middle grade reader. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I loved the illustrations in it. I don't want to give a spoiler away, so I'm just going to pick a random one. I mean, the Great Illustrated Classics always have illustrations in them, and some of the illustrations are just absolutely beautiful, and this is a very quick read because every other page has the illustrated picture and then you have the text. So it was a very quick and easy read. Alright, and the next book that I have on this is, but it's not, this one I know I read in November, and that is The Wolves of Winter by Tyrell Johnson. Now, this one, I don't know how I would go about this one, but this one you definitely get 2020 vibes from it. Even though this one was published in 2018, okay? But you honestly, I got so many 2020 vibes from it. So, you follow Lynn McBride. It's not her real name. I don't remember what she calls herself. Gwendolyn. So you follow Gwendolyn McBride, but she'd rather be called Lynn. And she is in this post-apocalyptic So she's in this, I can't say the word, but she's in this post-apocalyptic, I'm not saying that right. It's driving me crazy that I'm not saying that right, but I will put the word right here. So she's in this type of world where there was a disease or a pandemic that went about the whole entire world, and her father, I'm not going to give away all the details on her father because that would be a spoiler, but he ended up getting sick and he passed away from it, and she feels like she was a survivor from it. Like I said, I don't want to go into all details because I don't want to give away the story, but she is stuck in this world where it's snowing all the time. She's in Alaska, and they are living in a world where basically everybody has died out, and it's kind of like, best way I could put it, it feels like 2020 COVID-19 meets a zombie apocalypse. So that's the best way I can describe this book. Now, I believe I gave this 4 out of 5 stars just because I feel like there was something missing, and Mr. Johnson has said, well, maybe there's a sequel coming, but I feel like there needs to be a sequel because the way that this ended, it's just, I don't know, there needs to be more. Because I don't like the way it ended, that's why I ended up giving it 4 stars. If there was a conclusion in the end, it would have given me, I would have given it 5 stars. But it leaves such an open-ended way that didn't feel complete. So that's why I only got 4 stars. Otherwise than that, it literally is. It's a COVID-19 2020 meets a zombie apocalypse. But then again, they're not zombies. They, like, literally, like, they get sick and then they die. So it honestly, like, it was literally a global pandemic hit, which killed off, like, all the people, and then there was some cure that was discovered, but then some people chose to take it, some people chose to didn't. So the people that chose to take it are now living on their lives, but in like a zombie-like world where there's no money, there's barter, there's, you have to fight for your survival. That is what this is all filled with. And I would highly recommend this to anybody who's kind of looking for like a thriller, I guess you could call it. I don't even know if this was a thriller. I would definitely call this maybe, it definitely has Walking Dead vibes and COVID-19 vibes. As much as I actually hate comparing it to that, but that is the vibes I got from it. And I actually would recommend this to anybody who's looking for a cozy read, I guess. So, yeah, I really actually did enjoy this, but the ending, it needed more. Alright, so this next one you saw in my 24-hour readathon, and that is Hide and Seek by James Patterson. I believe I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, but I don't remember. Either way, you follow a woman who is on trial for killing her 2 husbands, and she's writing her story. I actually really did enjoy this. I thought it was very well written. I really loved how it went from 2 perspectives. It went from when she's on trial to why she did it and how she did it. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but some of the details in here, oh, wow. I would not recommend this to anybody who is sensitive to sex scenes. There's quite a few of them in here, and this is definitely a adult contemporary. I know I kind of go toward the young adult, but this was a step into adult contemporary for me, and I actually really did enjoy it, and I would recommend this to any James Patterson fan if you haven't read it yet. I would recommend this to any Gillian Flynn's Gone Girl fans. Kind of like along the same line, you kind of go into like the mind of a mastermind of a serial killer, I guess is the best way to put it. Loosely serial killer, but I really did enjoy this, and I actually want to read it again at some point because that's how much I enjoyed it. Alright, next one I read actually during the Gilmore Girl readathon, and I read this in 6 hours. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But I did love it, but I didn't hate it. So, I have mixed feelings about it, and I believe I ended up giving it 4 stars, or maybe it was 5 stars. I don't remember. But anyway, that is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Now, do I need to say again my disclaimer on J.K. Rowling? I don't think so. But if you want to know more about my disclaimer on J.K. Rowling, I will leave a link down below to my Gilmore Girl readathon, and you can go see that. It was either Gilmore Girl readathon or it was the book haul. I don't remember which one it was. But I'm not going to go into detail on what this was about because everybody under the sun seems to know what the Harry Potter series is about. But either way, I read it in 6 hours. And I believe I gave it 4 out of 5. Or it was 5 out of 5. I don't remember. Either way, I really didn't hate it. But am I going to chalk it up for the best book I've read of the year? No. I mean, it's up there. I mean, I would say if I was doing like a scale, it would be like 1 through 10. It'd be like number 15. So it's like an honorable mention book of the year. So will I continue on with the series? Yes. This was definitely one I will be continuing on with the series, but probably won't pick up the second one for a while. But either way, I really did enjoy this. And the last book that is on my list of my most recent reads is Pan's Labyrinth. I loved this. This is a creepy retelling of fairy tales. Oh my god. 5 stars, 10 stars, 20 stars, you get the fucking point. I loved this so much, I want to go back and just reread it. Best up there with one of the best books I have read for 2020. Oh, and not only that, the illustrations. Oh my god. I loved some of the illustrations in this freaking book. I loved every sentence. I loved... This is actually a quote from this book that I've thought about using before. I've thought about using it in some of my videos. I've thought about quoting it somewhere just because it was amazing. And you guys, if you haven't read this, I'm going to read this sentence to you. It's not a spoiler. It's not... I mean... It's on page freaking 2, okay? But either way, you need to hear this. When she opened the book, the white pages were so bright against the shadows that filled the forest, and the words they offered granted shelter and comfort. The letters were like footprints in the snow, a wide white landscape untouched by pain, unharmed by memories, too dark to keep secret, and too sweet to let go. Like, ha! Best quote ever. Like, honestly, Guillermo del Toro and Cornelia Flunk, some of the best storytellers of all time, came together, made this book, and best book ever. Like, ever. I am so happy I read this. So, if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for watching. Those are my most recent reads. If you have read any of these, please leave a comment down below on your thoughts because I would love to hear them. If you want to see more random content by me, because I try to post on Tuesdays and Fridays of every week, But sometimes lately it's been random because I have a lot of things going on in my life. So anyway, if you don't want to miss a video by me, that's why you need to hit subscribe. Don't forget to check out all my links down below because you know they're always there for you. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!